Of all the interviews and guests that I've had on Destination Adventure, the one that has generated the biggest personal fan base is probably my grandfather. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to see him much over the past couple years because of all the traveling, but I am very excited to say he is currently en route to Canada. So tomorrow we're going to be packing up the rig and stepping away from the build for a little bit to go and do some camping and fishing, just some good old-fashioned life enjoying with the guy. But we have time today to sneak in at least a bit of a project, and that is going to be the water system. These tanks went in here months ago and people have been asking questions like crazy. It's finally time to figure out how we're going to get water from here into there. Let me first just tell you a little bit about these tanks that I have. These are just good old-fashioned IBC Totes. The reason I went this route is because they're readily available pretty much anywhere you are. They're food grade and they're cheap. I paid $200 each for these things, and they consume very little space when you stack them like this. The thing that I was surprised about is these are very common to be used for water storage and off-grid use, and they are stackable. Depending on the ones you get, you can stack them 2 to 4 high. I have not found anyone that has a system with them stacked like this. So I've come up with what I think is going to be a pretty good system. So let's just get straight into it. The whole thing is going to be out of flex line and barbed fittings like this, with the exception of a couple specialty things we had to order online. I'm going to have links for this stuff in the description below. They're Amazon affiliate links, so we get a little bit of commission on it with no extra expense to you. But this is a custom IBC tote fitting. It's 2" to 3/4, and then we had to get these top caps as well. Let's get straight into it. Not the easiest place to film, so I'm just going to kind of do my best, but we're going to dry fit everything first. Then I'm going to come back and put sealant on all of it. So the top tote is just a 90. The bottom tote is a T. The top tote is going to fill the bottom tote. The challenge to this whole thing is getting the air out as the water fills the tank. So then the top big cap is going to act as an air breather on the bottom one, and on the top one it's going to be an air breather and a fill. The reason we have a T coming off this one is because I'm also going to have an outdoor faucet that is going to double as a drain from the pump down and for the whole system if we ever have to drain the complete system. As far as feeding into the house, just the bottom tank feeds into the house, and it's going to go directly from the bottom tank into a water pump. Regardless of what kind of pump, they're pretty much all 1/2". So I have this little 3/4 to 1/2" adapter, and I guess there's no time like the present to go ahead and drill another hole in my house and mount this spigot. Well, if you tuned in last week, you would have seen some pretty exciting hole saw action. Hopefully it's not going to get quite so radical this time around. This was supposed to be a one size fits all. It has every size on there. None of them fit this correctly, and it's going to fall off inside the wall. So I'm just taping it on. Should be fine.
Oh,
now it's gone forever. Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Did you see that? That was pretty impressive.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
There we go. That's going to work, I think. Either it will or it won't. Am I through?
Yes.
Oh, that's nice. That's really nice. In the middle, I'm also going to have this thing so that I can turn the water off to the outside during the winter months, or at least the coldest weeks. And so that bottom tote is done. Not sure if I'm totally convinced this flexible line was the way to go. I might look into how to do some PEX line, which is going to be everything from the pump forwards. But we'll continue on with our air outlet side of things. This is going to be the top of the bottom tote. And then we'll have this 3/4 inch line. I'm going to have a stepper that goes from 1 inch down to 3/4. This will go up to the top, which will have water inlet here and then air out here. It's certainly not the best way to do it. I think the air out should be a separate spot completely, but this is going to be filling from a garden hose, so 1/2 inch. So 1/2 inch water going in, it's only consuming half of the available space. Should be no problem to vent the air out the other side. This fancy lid does come with a rubber seal for the pass through and for the sealing surface here. But since the bottom tank is going to be under a certain amount of pressure, not much, but some anyways, I'm going to silicone it. Going with good old-fashioned Gorilla. Should be more than adequate. After everything was dry fit, I took it all apart last night, put silicone on the threads and tightened all the hose clamps, and at this point we're actually pretty much ready to hook up the pump and the water inlet, but we are heading out of town today to meet up with Grandpa. But I'll show you guys this finished setup. With the amount of thinking and planning that went into this, I can't believe how simple it turned out. But this goes to the outside faucet, and it is just gravity fed. That's the lowest point in the system, so that when we need to drain it, it can all drain out. This goes to the pump, and we're just going with the 12-volt pump. This is not leaking, that's junk that was still in there, glycerin or something. Here's our 2 fill lines. This is the air vent for the bottom, and then it meets up with this one up top. And this isn't tightened up yet, but this is going to be the air vent for both, and then this is going to be the water inlet right here. The original idea was to park the water truck up on the road and just gravity fill. I'm gonna have to take a closer look. I don't actually know if we're gonna have enough elevation up on the road to gravity feed, but it might be easier just to go with a pump, because then I can put an inlet nice and low right here, just another faucet with the female end to accept the hose, and then we can just fill this with a pump, and that'll be easy to do any time of the year. So that is my water system. I wanted to cover this because for whatever reason I couldn't find any information on anyone else that's used these IBC totes stacked like this, and I think it's a great system. Just a quick video today, but thanks for watching, everybody.